Hello everyone, I am Amit Maru and today in this video we will discuss about AWS Storage Services. In our last video we have discussed about basics of AWS. So I hope you all are now clear about AWS and basic purpose of AWS. So now next step is we have to understand different services of AWS. So in this video we'll discuss various services of AWS and we will discuss in depth about AWS Storage Services. So let's start. First of all, let us have outline of our today's video. In our today's video, first we will discuss about different domains of AWS services. There are number of domains in our AWS services. We will discuss all the domains in detail. But in our today's video, we will discuss in depth about one domain, that is Amazon Storage Services. In our Amazon Storage Services, there are number of services, but we will discuss very important services like Amazon S3, Amazon EBS, Amazon EFS, Amazon Glacier, it is also known as S3 Glacier nowadays, and last, that is AWS Snow Family. These all are the very important services which belongs to Amazon Storage Services. So we will discuss in depth about one domain, that is storage services, in our today's video. In our AWS, all the services has been divided into different domains. So the first domain is storage domain. In that, number of services are there. Using that we can access data, we can store data, and there are number of other options that we will discuss in detail. So second one is compute. As we discuss, AWS also provides service where we can create our own virtual machine, or we can say our virtual server. So instead of making our physical server, we can also get server from the AWS. So how we can get for that, which kind of services are there, that we'll discuss in detail in our compute domain. Later on we'll discuss about what is compute and which kind of services are there inside the compute. So this is one domain of AWS. Next one is migration, is also one domain. Container, then database, network and content delivery, customer engagement, developer tools, and many other domains. So we will discuss in detail one by one all the domains, but in our today's video we will discuss about one important domain, that is storage domain. So let us discuss in detail about storage domain. As we discuss, the word itself says something about the service of AWS, the storage. Storage means we can store data, something inside the memory. So AWS is providing this kind of services where we can store our data and we can retrieve data whenever it is required. So AWS offers a complete range of services to store, access and analyze the data to reduce cost, boost quickness and accelerate innovation. There are number of options of storage such as object storage, file storage and block storage services by using AWS. So once we think about the storage, so in this domain AWS is providing various services in form of object storage, file storage and block storage. These are the basic services AWS is providing. Let us have a depth about AWS storage services. In our AWS storage services, there are number of services like AWS S3, that is our Amazon S3. S3 means simple storage service. Then Amazon EBS, that is elastic block storage. Then Amazon EFS, that is elastic file storage. Then Amazon Glacier, nowadays it is also known as Amazon S3 Glacier. And last, that is AWS Snow Family. So these all are the different services, specific services which belongs to storage domain. So let us discuss all the services in detail. The first service, that is our Amazon S3. As we discussed, it is nothing but it is a simple storage service and it is basically used to store data permanently. So if you want to store your data, whether it is a file, word file, video file, image or anything that you can store permanently in our cloud, it can store any kind of files in S3. Using S3 you can use to store and retrieve large amount of data at any time from anywhere on the internet. Once we store data inside the S3, it is permanently stored inside the memory on the cloud, and whenever it is required we can access from anywhere, anytime by using internet. It is an object storage service, objects stored inside the bucket, and in bucket we can store as many objects as like. Each object can contain up to the 5 TB of data. So now you can assume that we can store large amount of data in our S3. Amazon S3 is designed for the 99.999, that is 11 nines of durability. Such kind of durability is providing by the AWS. It means that once we store data inside the cloud or AWS, our data will be as it is forever. So whenever it is required, we can get data as and when required. Now next storage service, that is our EFS, and the meaning of EFS is elastic file system. The elastic word itself says that it is growing and shrinking automatically as you add and remove the files. It can scale up to the petabytes. It is shared file system for use with EC2. This is more important that you need to understand. It is a shared file system. It means that if you want to share your file to the multiple instance, here EC2 is nothing but our virtual server or virtual machine. We can, as we discussed, we can create our own virtual machine on AWS. So once we create our own virtual machine on the AWS, and if you want to share some file among multiple instance, multiple server, at that time we can use this kind of file storage, that is EFS. So just take one example. Suppose we have one industry or organization which has a multiple branch in different location, and if you want to share data among all the branches, at that time you can put data in our Amazon EFS and you can share with all the multiple instances or multiple servers. So this is the use of EFS. Basically it works for a Linux based system. You only pay for the storage you use, so no pre-provisioning required. Now our next storage service, that is our Amazon EBS. Here EBS means elastic block storage. It is connected with EC2. As we already discussed, EC2 is nothing but our virtual machine or virtual server. So by using AWS, once we create our own virtual server, at that time we have a different option, like we can select operating system, we can select database, we can select storage. So here storage is available from the EBS. It is attached with the EC2, so it can be accessed through the EC2 only. So once we create our own virtual machine, it is known as one instance, and using this instance we can access data from the EBS. There is no other option. Using that we can get data from the EBS, or we can retrieve data from the EBS. So it is only possible through EC2 instance. Amazon EBS allows you to create storage volume and attach them to Amazon EC2 instance. After attaching, you can create a file system on top of this volume, run a database, or use them in any other way. EBS volume are replicated within a available zone and can easily scale to petabyte of data. So it is basically used for the virtual machine. Now next, that is our Amazon Glacier. This Amazon Glacier is nowadays known as Amazon S3 Glacier. Now it is attached with our S3, so it is known as S3 Glacier. It is low cost archive storage in the cloud. It is highly secure, extremely low cost and durable storage. It stores data that would remain forever but rarely accessed. What is basic purpose of Amazon Glacier? In Amazon Glacier, the retrieval time is very more, so that when we store data inside our memory, and if you want to retrieve data continuously or every day if it is required to retrieve, then Amazon Glacier is not the right choice. But if some data we are storing inside our memory and it is important, but normally we are not using this data in our day-to-day life. We retrieve data, we access data once in a week, once in a month, once in a year, like that. At that time we can store this data inside our Amazon Glacier. Here we can store a large amount of data and the durability of Amazon Glacier is very high, so that our data is permanently stored. Just take one example. Suppose for any company, they have a number of reports of our past year, and this all the reports are very important, so it is required to store inside our database. But normally we are not accessing data once in a year, once in a month, whenever it is required. At that time we are retrieving data from the database. So in this situation, we can store this kind of data which is important, but normally we are not accessing, or rarely we are accessing data from the memory. This kind of data we can store inside the Amazon Glacier. They are designed to deliver 99.999, that is 11 nines durability, and provide comprehensive security. Now our next storage service, that is our AWS Snow Family. It is highly secure portable device to collect and process data at the edge and migrate data into and out of AWS. Actually, it is a portable device that basically used to collect data and transfer to the AWS. So this large amount of data can be collected from the different location and will be transferred or will be migrated to the AWS. It is useful for the customer who needs to run the operation in location where there is a lack of consistent network connectivity. In this situation, the Amazon will get data by using portable device and can transfer or migrate data to the AWS. Now let us have a conclusion of this all the services in one line. First service that we already discussed, that is Amazon S3. This S3 is nothing but simple storage service. This service is a object based service, and in that we can store different kinds of files, different data. Amazon EFS, it is a elastic file system. As we discussed, it is basically used to share file among multiple instances, so it is our shared file system. Amazon EBS, this is elastic block storage. It is basically for the virtual machine or EC2. Once we create our own virtual machine by using AWS services, at that time EBS will provide this storage. Amazon Glacier, nowadays it is also known as Amazon S3 Glacier. It is attached with this S3. It is basically used to store the data which is rarely accessed, but it is required to store permanently. Last, that is AWS Snow Family. It is actually the portable device. Using that, Amazon will collect different data from the different location and migrate to the AWS. So this is all about different storage services of AWS. So thank you for watching this video. Thank you again.